Metallica Radio Network is on the air. Welcome to the world premiere of Metallica's Death Magnetic. With a worldwide release set for Friday, September 12th, James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett, and Robert Trujillo are going to hang out and chat for the next hour about their new release. And now, coming to you live from Metallica HQ, here are your hosts, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
All right! Hey! Hello, everybody.
Howdy.
Hi. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dave.
I'm Taylor.
We're from a band called the Foo Fighters. You're probably wondering why we're here interviewing Metallica today. Why? I'll tell you, James. Because you've just made an amazing record that everyone's going to get to hear tonight. People are going to get to hear some songs off the new record. But let me just start by saying I've been a fan of your band for about 25 years now, I think, since 83, 84, around the Metal Massacre, Kill 'Em All era. Back then, I've been a hardcore, faithful fan for that long. Every time you make a record, I'm the first one to go get it, and I listen to it, and it reminds me why I keep coming back for the records. This album, you guys, this is your best album. I don't want to say it's your best album ever, but it's close. How do you feel? How do you feel?
It's about time.
I want to hug you right now.
You can hug me later. We'll get to hugging a little bit later. I mean, how long did it take you guys to make this record? How long have you been working on it?
27 years. Right?
There you go.
Is it the record you always wanted to make?
Totally. Yeah, for the last 2 years. Yeah. Well, it's been 2 years. Seems like 20.
Going
but
on 3.
Yeah. It's been a long time, but really short. This was the easiest record to make because we're getting along so good. Yeah. And after St. Anger's near-death experience of us and the movie, I think we learned a lot about each other. And this movie was the easiest, or well, we did make a movie of this too. Why would you not film yourself doing everything you do?
Why do anything unless there's a camera on? That's
Exactly.
what I always say. You know what I mean?
That's the only reason why I get up in the morning.
There you go.
Oh, so you found the bathroom cam. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we gotten along really well, and this was just an amazing journey for us. Good time.
Also, working with Rick Rubin, who was the first time we worked with him, he has such a stress-free environment. He's really, you guys know him, he's really zen, he's really mellow, and there's no stress, and there's no hurry up and do this. Everything, he's open to everything, every idea that gets thrown. The word no doesn't exist. Hey, should we try it? Yeah, let's try it. So there's a very kind of calm, zen-like atmosphere that has been really great for us the last couple of years. And we also got a chance for the first time when we made a record to actually go out and play some live dates. In between recording and writing and all this stuff. So you go out on the road, you play some shows for a couple, 3-4 weeks, and you bring a lot of that energy back into the studio. And that's really made a difference for us this year because you're not in the studio long enough to get sick of it. You're not on the road long enough to get sick of it. So you have these two balances that's worked really well for us.
Well, these songs and listening to we heard the new record for the first time today.
About 6 songs.
Yeah, 6 songs, and we just listened to them over and over. And it's a live record. You could tell that this stuff, it's meant to be played live. That there's sections where I could just imagine a field of 100,000 people just beating the hell out of each other for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just out of control.
And in the audience too, right?
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, what you guys did this time, for anyone who hasn't heard it, I'm really excited for hardcore fans listening to this record. There were 3 of us sitting around today listening to it, and it was just all smiles and air drumming, and we're really,
awesome.
really,
That's
really
so
psyched.
awesome to hear.
And Rick Rubin, it's a trip because Rick's done so many different records. He's done so many different types of records that when we first heard that you guys were making a record with Rick, it was like, oh man, like that could go one of 2 ways. You know what I mean? Like it could be one of those records, or it could be one of these records. And first listen,
Oh, yeah.
Run DMC Metallica or
It could be
Neil
Rain and
Diamond.
Blood, or
Well,
it could be like,
Neil Diamond,
Jay-Z or
Metallica.
something. I don't know. You know?
Well, I really appreciate what you're saying about the live element, because that was one of Rick's probably 2 or 3 biggest things, was to trying to get us to really play live in the studio, record with each other in mind. Not I'm doing my drum parts and now you're doing your guitar parts, but to listen to each other and to really play live in the studio, be a band. And that's something we've never, I don't know about you guys, but we've never really made a record like live off the floor. We were up here at HQ doing pre-production for months and months and months. Rick didn't want us to go and record until we were ready to go in and play these songs in the studio live.
Right.
Like play full takes. And it's, you guys have heard, I mean, these are not easy songs to play and remember.
Not for you, buddy.
And do 8 or 9 minutes. 8 or 9 minutes.
I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, you do.
That's
And
not what I
and I appreciate what you're saying. But doing these songs are like complete takes. I mean, it was crazy. But we were up here in this room next door for months and months till we could play the stuff live.
I bet.
And that was what Rick really wanted to make sure what happened in the studio was that this stuff was going to be played by 4 guys live, looking at each other, interacting with each other, feeling each other, you know?
All right, let's get to a song. This song is...
Taylor wants to say something.
This,
no.
well,
We're getting the cue.
I got a sign on my face.
Yeah.
This is my favorite song that I've heard yet. This song is it's off the new record, Death Magnetic. This song is called All Nightmare Long. New Metallica.
Right there.
Jeez Louise. Yeah! All right. So, you know what I mean? That's a classic Metallica song.
I'm telling you, and y'all playing that live, you're gonna have your work cut out for you.
Looking forward to that.
That's gonna be heavy.
Looking forward to that.
The two drummers are looking at me.
I'm glad I don't have to play that.
Well, that's
all
what
I'm
we were
saying.
talking about on the way here. Our friend was like, "How do you prepare to do something like that live as a drummer? What do you do? I don't know."
Psych yourself up for it, man. It's all in the mind, you know. If we played these songs live in the studio, we rehearse them, we play them, I mean, full takes. It's just getting in there, being focused on it. And once, you know, the thing about rehearsing...
You ever barf?
That's the secret.
For other reasons. But the thing that you guys know is, like, you know, it doesn't matter how much you rehearse. It's once you get out in front of people. Because you can rehearse this 100 times. And the first 5 times you play it, you're going to be, like, freaking out, feeling it out, trying to, okay, what comes next? And you got to rehearse in front of audiences. So it's just a matter of, we've talked about, we just got to get out there and play these songs in front of people, because that's what's going to make them better. And it's also going to bring the audience into the new songs, you know. So we're going to, the last couple of records, we've sometimes been a little shy about playing a lot of new songs off the get-go, and we're going to hit the ground running with this next week, and we're just going to start hitting new songs as quick as we can.
No, I remember seeing you guys on when you were on that Monsters of Rock tour, where it was Kingdom Come, Metallica, Dawkins, Scorps,
and Van
Halen, right?
Not
And,
Halen, not Halen.
Van Hagar.
Van Hagar. And but
Make the distinction.
right.
Not that there's any.
And I remember, well, first of all, the Kingdom Come guy did a drum solo, and I'm like, whoa, that means I could do one too, because he kind of blows. But I remember.
Oh man.
But I remember.
He's a
Who's now
really
in the
nice
Scorpions?
guy.
Of
though,
course,
man.
yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
Don't
most
forget
drummers
that.
are. So, but I remember you guys. That was before Justice. So that was still the Puppets, and we were like, play some new stuff, and we were screaming until, but there was no new stuff.
Yeah.
Now I know why.
Scream until the Scorpions came on.
Pretty much.
When growing up in Europe, every band toured like right when the new record came out. And I remember you'd go see like Thin Lizzy, and like literally the week the record came out, they'd come out and play like they'd open with Jailbreak, and then like the next 8 songs would be all new songs. And the record was like 3 days old, and you'd stand there and go, I don't know, it blows. This is kind of weird, you know. So we've always kind of been, I think we've been too conservative in the past with our new songs, and we've talked about we're gonna fire these new songs right out there as soon as we hit the ground running. Next
Yeah,
week.
these new ones definitely gonna have to.
Got
Well, that's
to.
how you make them the evergreens. You know, the songs that we have to play, from the Bell Toho, Seek and Destroy, Sandman, things like that, especially the earlier stuff, they became wanted because they were forced upon you, you know, for 20 some odd years, and they've become a part of us, and they become, the crowd know when they belong in the song, when they yell along. It becomes, it's all inclusive. So that's what you got to do. You got to play these songs live.
Now, when you guys, when you go into the studio, you don't go in with like 40 songs and come out with 10, right? Do you go in with like 10?
25.
And
then 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We had too many riffs, man.
Too many.
Were they finished songs?
Well, that was one of the. In listening to this record, we were listening to it. I'm like, dude, there's an album's worth of riffs in every song.
That's why.
Jeez.
That's why they're so long. We had 16 CDs of 30 IDs each from St. Anger ideas, and how you gonna fit them all into an album?
Fit them all. That's what you should have
do.
called it. Fit them all. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break and pay some bills around here. We're listening to the new Metallica record, Death Magnetic. We'll be back.
You're listening to the world premiere of Death Magnetic, available worldwide on September 12th. We'll be right back with more on the Metallica Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Welcome back to the Metallica Radio Network with James, Lars, Kirk, and Robert for the world premiere of Death Magnetic.
Hey, this is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters. Welcome back to the Metallica special.
And Taylor Hawkins.
I don't know. I don't like that guy. Where is he?
Find Chris Martin, bring him in here.
Jeez Louise. Okay, one noticeable difference between this album and the last has got to be the guitar solos.
Yes, solos are back.
Yes, there are solos.
Let me tell you. Not only is Kirk back, but dude, they've let you out of the cage, right?
I guess,
Am I right?
Sooner, someone had to sooner or later.
It's kind of nuts because they're ripping and long, hard solos.
Thanks, man.
Every song chock full of ripping, shreddy rippies.
I could not put the wah pedal down. That's what you're.
You know
saying.
what? There's a moment on the last song actually when there's a drummer and there's that gear up with the walk, which is like the perfect. It's awesome. It's like shaking a bottle of pop.
Sample that.
I love it.
That was fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I wish
Now
I could get that effect on my guitar.
Put me in that talk box. I'll make it happen. So I read somewhere that a lot of that stuff is. I mean, did you work on your solos this time, or is it a lot of off the top of the head stuff, or what?
Well, what happened was I worked on solos for a long part of the time, and I just wasn't. I didn't feel like I was hitting it on the head, and there was more than a few times where I just threw everything away and started over again. And after doing that like 2 or 3 times, I just said, screw it, and just went for just total spontaneity and like playing in the moment and playing live, which is something that Rick Rubin was trying to get out of us anyway. And so I just went for it, man. I just said, push the button, let's let her rip and see what comes out. And there honestly were times where I was recording and I play something and I look up from my guitar afterwards to say, what the hell was that? What did I just do? I mean, it was just, it came to a point where it felt like I was channeling something else. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but a lot of the times I just went for total spontaneity and just like, really just stuck my neck out there and just went for the throat.
Well, I think it's one of the things that makes the album sound like a classic Metallica record because you guys are specific ingredients, the things that each one of you do that nobody else does. And when you all do those things together, that's when it sounds like an amazingly classic Metallica song, which we're going to hear another one right now. Now, this song...
It's my favorite.
Taylor Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor Hawkins' favorite song.
All right, yeah. This is definitely my favorite song. How long are we going to the song yet? All right,
Starts
yeah.
with drums, right?
Yeah, it does. I think so. And
Whatever. Boring.
it's called My Apocalypse. It's the second song I heard.
Is it the second song on the record or the last song on the record?
Last song.
Booyah.
And this one is relentless and never stops. And I like the end. I don't know.
My Apocalypse.
All right then.
Yeah, there it is.
Ah, there it is.
Does that song not make you want to go kick the neighbor's dog around?
Yeah, I want to go wreck some stuff. My Apocalypse.
My friend Paco's Lips. That's
My friend Paco's Lips. That was awesome. Oh, another great song. Thank you. Last song on the record.
I
like
one
that.
of my favorites.
Good, nice ending.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about the other 14 songs that you didn't use for the album? What about all those riffs?
For sale. You want-
Yeah, I'll take them. They sound like that.
They turned into parts cars. We were pulling carburetors and choruses and whatnot off of them, and that's why
Franken hits.
they have 30 riffs in one song, right?
That's awesome. Hey, can
I
I
mean,
just
it's
say
nice,
that I
nice.
just went to go to take a piss in your bathroom, and I really admire your toilets that are painted like hot rod cars.
Well,
'Cause,
what, yours aren't? I mean,
no,
do you have a pinstripe piano? Come on. Hey,
that's awesome.
we have this guy come in every once in a while, and he says, "Hey, what do you want us to paint?" You're like, "Go paint the urinal." There you go. Okay.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot more to talk about. We got someone's gonna cry. I haven't decided who it's gonna be yet. I'm gonna make someone cry tonight. It might be me.
You cried on the way here.
I did cry on the way here. That's just because I'm scared of flying. So we're gonna take another break, and we're gonna be back. We're listening to the new Metallica record, Death Magnetic, with the boys. I'm Dave.
I'm Taylor.
And that's not his real voice, but we'll be back in a couple minutes right after this. Thanks a lot, guys.
You're listening to the world premiere of Death Magnetic, available worldwide on September 12th. We'll be right back with more on the Metallica Radio Network. Metallica Radio Network. Welcome back to the Metallica Radio Network and the world premiere of Death Magnetic, live at Metallica HQ with your hosts Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
All right, we're back with the Metallica guys. Hello. All right, I'm just kind of going down the line here. Okay, we got to the solo thing. We kind of touched on the drums a little bit, but we could do that all night.
Yeah.
We could have our own little drum circle here, but we'll spare you guys.
I want
other all
to come
night.
sit over with you guys in a few minutes. Okay? Like
I just-
drummers of the world unite.
I just have to say, with you three guys, it'd be an incredible drum off. Let's just say that.
You know?
Be an incredible amount of Advil necessary for everybody, too.
Don would be working overtime.
Amazing beat off. Yes.
Hey!
All right.
Rob? How are you, my friend?
You're
I'm
next.
doing great, thanks.
You're doing good?
Oh, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is your first Metallica record?
This is my first Metallica record.
Yeah, it is!
Yeah.
Now, you're no stranger to the rock studio. You've made a lot of rock records in your life.
Correct.
What was it like making this record with these guys? I want to know.
It was actually a lot of fun, a lot of jamming, and I was very fortunate to be sort of the middleman between Lars and James in a lot of situations. Kirk was actually spending a lot of time, he had his
Slacking
child.
off, not here.
No.
Not showing up.
He was representing the family.
Other stuff, water skiing.
And abandoned ship, Trujillo, take over. Yeah. And so anyway.
Yeah. Rob filled that vacuous sort of position while my wife had not one but two children.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
I mean, in the last 5 years, we've had, 4 children born? Wait.
Yeah.
Is this a
Four
commune, this
Yeah.
place? What is this?
It's insane. Join Metallica and give birth. I mean,
The Metallica baby factory, as we call
Wow.
it. Spit them out.
Love family, man. Come on in.
you know.
It's wonderful.
But it was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time in that room right over there, jamming and working it all out. I can say that sitting between Lars and James in there arranging a hard rock metal song is like going to the best school of songwriting you can ever imagine.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
like,
that was a
as
question
huge
I had.
fans, like,
That was a question I had when I was listening to a lot of the new stuff was, how do you arrange that stuff? Because the arrangements are insane.
But that was also one of the great things that, one of the great suggestions that Rick Rubin actually made was getting these guys to kind of reunite with some of that energy from the old days, from the old school, and that old school of arranging. And it was a lot of fun, and just to kind of mediate at times. And most of the times it was definitely, pleasant vibe, and we're having fun. And there are other times where
Couple
there's
brawls.
a couple brawls, a little bit of headbutting, figuring out the difficult technical stuff. But all in all, wonderful experience. And the scary thing is that I just think it's going to get better.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I mean, it's nice to hear some ripping bass on the record, too.
It's nice to hear bass on the record.
Somebody, I was doing some interviews in Europe last week, and some guy looked me in the eye and said, "This record's like And Justice for All with bass."
I'll take that.
Hey, did you ever meet the guy that put bass on And Justice for All?
Yeah.
And then, because he gave me one of those, too. Some dude in Detroit.
Just for all with bass.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
30%
Amazing.
more bass.
Amazing.
How do you think I learned Injustice for All? Thanks to that guy.
Wait, didn't you sell me a CD for $7? Okay.
I think, you know what? I think that guy works for Scars on Broadway now. That very same guy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's Scars on
A little,
Broadway?
little trivia. Just a little bit of trivia there.
That's good to know. Okay, another song. Now, this is I think this might be my second favorite song. I haven't heard the whole thing. I've only heard 6 songs. This is Broken, Beat, and Scarred, right?
Love it.
Well, I
Love
want
it.
to talk about lyrical inspiration and stuff next, but let's listen to this song. This is Broken, Beat, Scarred, Metallica, Death Magnetic. Check it out, go.
Do it.
All right. Another winner. Another wiener.
Another face slammer.
Yeah, another wiener. Another one in the bunch. Now, you know what? This break, I think, is not. I think this is a short one.
Muy
So
poquito.
I want to save the lyrical questions for the next long one because
You're
I'm
assuming
sure.
I can remember them.
Well, it's one of those things. All right, let's get into it then, dude.
No, whatever, man. You're in charge.
I mean, are you the? That's right. Are you the guy that carries around the journal or the notebook or the thing and writes down stuff, or do you write riffs and then write lyrics?
Or the iPod, or the
Or the
whatever
deal,
I write it.
the dictaphone?
Pardon? Yeah.
Dick to phone.
What'd you call me? I used to pretty much have a bag full of napkins and whatnot with just little notes written on, and half of them would get lost and whatnot. Basically, now I just write them in the phone, and I keep them all
Really?
the time. Yeah, and then I can call myself and record some riffs. Riff. All right. And then we sit, a year later and listen to it and go, oh my God, what was I thinking? And then something cool comes out of it, like the last song or whatever. But I'm not the guy who's writing poetry all the time or journaling. Or
God, I
or
would have
something
thought
like that.
of you as the poetry
You just
writer.
seem like
Yeah,
that
right.
dude.
Very
At the
sensitive.
coffee shop with your Power Mac,
Yeah, my beret and
Yeah.
and my half calf.
your
decaf.
soy
Yeah.
latte. Because it's one of those things where I know a lot has happened with you in the last 5, 6, 7 years, however long it's been. Seeing that movie, we all saw the movie, and that's hardcore. Like that's a crazy thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we watched it.
It sucked. No, but to see someone go through like that whole process, all of you going through that process, that's kind of nuts. And then to have to carry that over again through another album cycle, and then, and then to go through a whole other record. I'm sure you have a lot of new stuff to
There was a lot of fuel.
figure out.
Well, there was a lot of fuel for this record lyrically because of what we went through.
Sure.
As I say, the near-death experience of Metallica, And so a lot of this, Death Magnetic, is kind of revolving around near-death experience and the rebirth and the life that's out there, the gratitude that we have, the awareness that, we kind of need each other more than we hate each other, all right, guys? Let's sort this out. This is worth it, completely worth it. We go places with the key of Metallica. And, writing about, some of the fallen warriors that have, passed, Lane Staley, and you certainly know one. Mm-hmm. And it could have gone that way. You never know. So writing about, and also what really inspired me was, getting together with Rick Rubin and getting to know some of the stuff he worked with, Johnny Cash's stuff and the amazing stories of Johnny. There was an interview he did about his real near-death experience. And he talked about the typical the tunnel, and I saw it all, and he came back for a reason, and he saw through new eyes, and just that gratitude for life.
Yeah.
There's something about that on this record.
That's awesome. Okay, I think we need to go to commercial. I'm getting yelled at because you're talking.
You haven't cried yet.
I'm going to start crying now.
I know.
You haven't cried yet.
Lars is crying.
I go punch you.
We're taking a little break. We'll be back. We're listening to the new Metallica record, Death Magnetic. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come back. Yay!
You're listening to the world premiere of Death Magnetic, available worldwide on September 12th. We'll be right back with more on the Metallica Radio Network. Metallica Radio Network is back on the air live from Metallica HQ. And now your hosts, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
All right, we're back here with the Metallica people.
Yep.
Hi. Hello.
Hey, I got a quick question.
Capricorn.
You finished a record. You're getting ready to go out on tour for, I don't know, how long?
2 years.
You excited?
And change.
You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I mean,
bet.
a lot of people that we understand because we're in a band, and so you finish a record.
Oh yeah,
and-
what's your band?
Yeah, what
You guys have been on the road 4 years, I hear.
Pretty much. And
You guys don't have a vehicle? You've just been on the road?
Nah, just no lives, really.
Yeah,
Nothing to come home to. Sorrow, sadness, despair.
You guys got a demo tape?
Yeah, we actually.
I knew I'd be
Got a
the
couple.
first one to cry.
Well, yeah, the road life can take it out of you, but we've got
A
families.
jet?
We've got families. Yeah, that too.
We've got a jet, so it's going to be great.
A jet. Okay, a jet each, but yeah,
Jets.
yeah, we'll race you to the gig, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but we do. We have invested some money back into our physical and mental health on the road, which includes that.
Yeah.
And, maybe touring, week on, week off, 2 weeks at a time, things like that. Get home, refuel with the family, and then head back out and get the other kind of fuel.
It's total investment in the band. It's like you sit there and try to figure out what are you capable of doing these days. And we're actually going to try and tour America week on, week off. Just go away for a week, give everything you have to the shows, then come home and like James says, refuel, hang out with the family, then go on again. Do that. Some people do Nashville style touring where they go away just for the weekend or whatever.
That sounds good
but,
to me.
Yeah, it does. But,
I'll take some of that.
right. But I don't want to miss out on all the
How y'all
weekends.
doing? We're the Foo Fighters.
I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss the weekends.
Welcome to the
either.
fair.
So 27 years into it, you try to just figure out what works for you, And so we're going to try something different this time, and we're going to do 5 months, week on, week off, and see, if,
That sounds like
Good
a
plan.
Good plan.
Good plan. Okay, I'm going to ask you. I'm
gonna
going to
steal
ask you
that
a
too,
question.
huh?
Okay. I usually don't like reading questions, but I'm going to read one to you.
Shh, silence.
Many see the Black Album as a major turning point in Metallica's direction, a point that encompassed a lot of Metallica's past, but also offered insight into what would lie ahead. Much like Black Sabbath's Volume 4 or Led Zeppelin's 4.
I knew that was coming.
How would you describe the forthcoming record in terms of where Metallica's been and where it's going?
Taylor,
this is the ninth.
Taylor, can you just read
Thank
that
you.
in normal voice so we can understand the
Thank
question?
What was the question?
We already made our fourth.
Well, you know, I'll
record,
tell you, man. I mean, you know, a lot of it's hard not to talk about this new record without talking about the past, you know, because it's obviously a return to things that you guys have built this legacy on, you know. Because you guys, I mean, there's in some of the songs I hear like old school Bay Area thrash, speed metal thrash stuff. There's songs where I hear trouble, man. Like there's some songs where you hear pieces where it's like, oh man, that's like the first time you heard Injustice for All, or oh man, that's like the
Rick.
first time.
I mean, it's Rick. It's all Rick. Rick came in this control room about 2 years ago and sat down and said, listen, after the Injustice for All album, we figured that we were done with that side of Metallica. There was nothing more that we could offer. We couldn't go any faster. We couldn't go any more sideways. We couldn't be more progressive. There were more weird. There was no more weird time signatures. It was, you know, so the only thing, you know, that we could do was go back and listen to the AC/DC records and go in a different direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we spent the next 15 years going in as many musical different directions as,
Which you
as
got
we,
to
as
do
we
as
could.
a band.
Yeah.
As an
And
artist, you got to do that.
And we were fortunate that our fans went with us, and we challenged ourselves, and we went all over the map. But when Rick came here 2 years ago, he said, don't be afraid of the records that you made in the 80s. Don't be scared of what those, you know, be inspired by them. Go back and listen to the same music that you listened to when you were making those records. Go back and, you know, think about the process, you know, that you were going through when you were making those records. What were you feeling? What were you thinking? What were you doing? Like, it's okay. Those records, I think the four of us and the fans and even our peers and the critics, they put those records, especially Lightning, you know, Puppets and Justice, they were put on such pedestals. It was like these milestones and these groundbreaking records, and it was just, we were so scared of going near those records because if we went near them, we would take something away from them. We would cheapen them. We would belittle them in some way.
Right.
So we spent 15 years running away from those records. And Rick sat in there one day 2 years ago, said, don't be afraid of your past. Embrace it. Be inspired by it. Be revitalized by your past. Don't sit and listen to all this other stuff that's going on. Listen to what you used to do, and that was a major, major turning point for us.
And you know, I think honestly, when you as an artist, you don't want to make any U-turns. You know, you don't want to I don't want to go back there. I've already done that. I want to do something else. I want to do something else. But what you guys have done, I don't think with this album it's not a U-turn. What I think you guys have done is you've really given an album to your fans that they're gonna dig, man.
But it's not about copying the past. It's just about being revitalized.
It doesn't
by it.
sound-
It's
it
not
doesn't
about
sound- I mean,
copying. It's not country fairs in 1986 and you know let's relive 20 years ago. It's just about
You guys did country.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You guys did the country fairs. You guys did
It's
the
just
country
it's
fairs.
about being inspired by the
The
past.
Jägermeister
And,
10 at the Utah State Fair.
coming next year. But it's about being inspired by the past and not being afraid to embrace it. And that's what Rick really made us feel comfortable doing.
Awesome.
I think you guys successfully merged it with the future. With a future sound. I don't think it sounds like, they're trying to sound like Injustice or Masters or anything like that.
Thank you.
All right, let's listen to this song. It's called The Day That Never Comes. It's a Metallica song from their new record, Death Magnetic. Listen now.
Welcome to Overtime on the Metallica Radio Network. Strap in for a commercial-free finish with more from James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett, and Robert Trujillo, and the world premiere of Death Magnetic. Continuing live from Metallica HQ, let's rejoin your hosts, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
All right.
Okay.
Again.
Did you hear that? We're getting paid overtime.
Yeah.
Getting paid overtime on this one.
Yeah, you can stop.
I'm not feeling any power ballads on this record.
You know what? There's an instrumental though.
There is an instrumental.
There's an instrumental on the
Old
record.
school instrumental.
There's a ballad with no power. No,
A powerless ballad.
the other way around, I think.
What possessed you to put an instrumental on the record?
No lyrics.
Right. Lazy.
That was the easiest vocal day for you in the studio.
A little break, a little live break, maybe that we probably won't play at live, of course.
Right.
But
We'll play it with lyrics and sing.
yeah,
You know what? I could do interpretive dancing too.
There you go.
To that.
There was a big pile of riffs. It was kind of towards the end of the process, and there was a big pile of riffs. We talked about the metal scrapyard before, and a lot of the songs that got discarded. It's never like, the songs just get thrown away, and these other ones are perfect as is. It's like you take, the intro from this one and put it into the one that needs an intro and all that type of stuff. And there were a bunch of riffs that felt epic-y enough and that had a kind of enough a melodic element to them that they would speak on their own. And there was some
Instrumental.
melodies that you came up with, the whole middle bit that just was so epic-y and so epic-y.
That's not a word,
Epic-y.
Lars. Not a word.
Epic-y.
Sure. Slap my wrist.
You took two words together for that one, too.
Yeah.
But that just felt
Picky, or where's the accents on the
picky.
picky.
But that just felt like, we haven't done an old school instrumental since, again, the 80s. And we did, we had one on every one of those 3 records. And it just felt like it would be fun to challenge ourselves and do that again. And so we put a bunch of those riffs together, and there you have Suicide and Redemption.
It's like a riff salad.
Riff salad.
Yes,
Like one of those Cobb salads.
it is. It's very healthy.
It's a rat
Sure.
salad.
That's some
I'm going to eat a
Frankenrock.
piece of egg. Now I'm going to eat a piece of ham. Now I'm going to eat a little pea. Now I'm going to eat a...
Exactly. Now I'm going to take the riff from song 22. I'm going to
See?
take the other riff from song 19.
Frankenrock.
Smorgasbord.
And I'm going
Right.
to make a
Frankenrock.
Riff
It was-
salad.
it was
make
like
a rat salad.
a riff bar.
Yeah. Use it all.
Yeah,
Kill them all you can eat.
fit them all.
Fit them all. That's what it was.
Yeah, get fit.
So when you guys sequence a record, you're done with the leftovers. You know that this is going to be... How many songs are on the record?
10.
10 songs. When you sequence it, do you think of it like a set list? Because that's kind of what it's like taking someone for a ride,
Absolutely, yeah.
Or do you do the A-side, B-side thing?
No. I think of it as a journey, as an experience that starts at one place and ends. And the thing about having one foot a little bit in the past was it made it a little bit easier. Kind of you start off with the thrasher and more kind of the third song is maybe
Song
a little
number
bit
3.
is a little bit down. The fourth song is where you introduce some lighter picking stuff, and the instrumental is the second from the last. So I had a lot of help from
Getting all this?
I had a
I
lot.
think I got that.
I had a lot of help from
Why are you
the
giving
records
all this away? No,
because everybody thinks
Just
this is
add
actually
water.
being broadcast live all over the world. It's not. It's just us sitting here having a conversation.
Really? And we're not getting paid overtime? Because that sucks.
I got one
you're
question.
drinking it, man.
I got one question back at you. Why your right hand? No, it keeps resting somewhere.
other right.
Yeah. What is that about?
He's trying to.
Well,
hide
when I interview people, I like
He's
to hold,
nervous.
I like to hold my genitals. Just as a dog puts its tail between its legs when it's afraid it's going to get beat. I hold my balls when I'm talking to my favorite band in the world.
we can give you Phil Toll's number, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know about everybody on that side, but everybody on this side, we've been sharing this moment together. And
Yeah.
much
Hey, you ever
respect
see
and
Barbara
love.
Walters' hands? No, you don't. Guess what they're doing?
Oh, dude. All right.
That's sketchy.
All right.
Anyway, about the sequencing. So, I had a little help from the records in the 80s, the Thrasher at song 10.
So
and,
you sequence the records.
Yes, I do.
Let's just make that clear.
Yeah.
Don't give him any ideas. Please.
I like that.
No, I don't.
Wow.
Bad
Wait,
idea.
but both of
Drummers.
you guys are drummers. Come on, man.
But then, you don't get the A side, B side. B side, you'd get to. All right, here's another. You get to start again.
Killer beginning.
It's like the encore. Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't get that so much anymore.
No more.
Someone's gonna pick and choose anyway.
Yeah, everybody's just
Everyone's
download
so
their two
picky,
favorite.
picky, picky,
Exactly.
picky.
Dead
Radio
air.
silence.
Sorry.
Epic-y.
And now
Yeah,
you're
it's
experiencing
epic.
a lull.
Everybody's gonna get epic-y on
Let's
it.
listen to a song.
Let's do it.
This is a song called The Judas Kiss.
All right then.
By a band called Metallica. They got a new record. It's called Death Magnetic. Check it out, The Judas Kiss.
Oh, very exciting.
Hold on a second.
Oh yeah. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, just when you think it's over, it sounded like it was over there for a second, but it's not. I got to say something. We're going to be taking a 4-minute commercial break at 7:40 Pacific, 10:40 Eastern. The show's been extended. This is for all the people, because this is going out to like 100 million radio stations all over the country. So that's why they called me, because they wanted to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Bob Coburn was busy.
That's right. He had something better to do.
He's interviewing Nickelback somewhere.
Exactly.
Hey, I want to talk about the guys with the beards. Can we talk about the beard guys?
Who's ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
YYZZ Top. Okay. Name. Tony. Mick. Tony, where are you from? Hudson, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland.
Now, these two gentlemen have been growing their beards for how long has it been now? 2 years. I got to say, I like your beard a lot, but I think you've been playing with it too much because it's kind of falling off. Mick? Yeah. That's a pretty healthy beard. Now, you've been growing these beards waiting for the new Metallica record to come out. Is that the deal? Is it... When are you going to cut? When are you going to cut? When are you going to shave?
The rules were a little nebulous, but the idea was when the new record was finished.
This is Mick from Ireland, by the way.
Yeah. Nebulous, I'm not sure what
Thanks
that word
for clearing
means.
that up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, we sound so much alike.
Yeah.
well, I didn't think we'd be waiting 2 years. Obviously.
Come on.
Yeah.
You
Figured
knew.
6 months.
But
Guilt trippers.
it's their fault.
So what now? I mean, are you waiting for the release date? You're waiting for the... is it just until you hear the whole
Hey,
record?
man, you can hack this thing off right now.
Dude, will you let me cut your beard?
I like
He's got some scissors. Come on.
I think you should let... You got to let the band cut your
I
beard,
love that
man.
idea.
You've been waiting a long time.
I need a
My,
knife.
my wife will be overjoyed.
Will she?
And
Yes.
my wife is sitting right here, and
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you? All right, we're going to see some beard cutting here. Oh. By the way, we're broadcasting today from Metallica's headquarters, their rehearsal studio, storage slash slash
Slash is here.
slash barber shop.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do it. You got to do it. Okay, I'm going to do a little play-by-play. Here we got James standing over two men with long, shaggy beards. He's got
My scraggles away.
he's got some clippers in his hand, and I think he's going to go for the dude with the longer beard. The guy from Ireland kind of looks like Billy Gibbons, sort of. He's got
Without the money or talent. But just one thing. Some side.
Oh, you want some burns?
Oh,
keep
yeah.
the burns. Keep the burns.
There you go.
Can he style them the way he wants to?
Top's okay.
No, we're leaving the top, thanks. We're leaving the top. I make an ugly bald
Eyebrows
guy.
are
So
on.
it's,
Eyebrows.
yeah,
Start with the eyebrows.
I'm gonna serenade you guys while you're doing this. Okay, ready?
eyebrows and balls.
Okay.
Love,
How much cyber do you want?
exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. The Love Boat. Soon we'll be making another run.
It's
Should we do
happening.
some barbershop
The
quartet?
Love Boat. Promising something for everyone.
Feeling all right?
You know,
Take a
I'm quite
course
enjoying
for
it. If that doesn't
adventure,
sound too
your
weird.
mind on a new romance
All right.
and
All right, here it
love
comes. It's coming off. It's
won't
coming
hurt
off.
anymore. I know this whole song.
I know people are changing the channel.
I know, right? All right, you know what? Maybe in the
You're
meantime.
assuming anybody was listening in the first
Exactly.
place.
Yeah, probably
Well, those
not.
5 people are changing the channel.
Yeah, they're like, K-Rock, I want to hear Sublime. Okay, so I think maybe what we should do while we're shaving
Play a
beards here-
Metallica song.
Do you want to hear another new Metallica? You guys want to hear another new Metallica song?
Come
Do
on.
it.
Oh, yeah.
We should hear another new Metallica song, right?
Do it.
Don't
This
let me
one-
stop you.
This one's off the new Metallica record called Death Magnetic. It's a song called Cyanide. Check
All
it
right
out.
then. I've already died.
Let's hear it.
Welcome back to the Metallica Radio Network with James, Lars, Kirk, and Robert for the world premiere of Death Magnetic. We're back live at Metallica HQ with your hosts, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins.
All right, we're back.
Yep.
There's a bunch of hair on the floor.
Hair on.
There's a bunch of hair on the floor.
Piece of crap.
That was awesome.
Next.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. I haven't been waiting 2 years to shave my face
Like shave your back.
like
Who said
those guys.
Face. I mean,
It's my knuckles I'm worried about. What about my toes? That was awesome. And I'll tell you, you're real good to your fans because I know I've seen the magazine, the So What magazine, and the way you guys deal and hang and treat your fans is awesome. To invite them here into your home, that's really killer. And in return, they don't bathe or shave for years at a time. So the dedication and love that goes back and forth between you all that's a special thing.
it's inbreeding.
You don't see a lot. Yeah, you got web toes. You can swim real fast.
Toe shaped like M. Yeah, right.
But it's great, and you have to know that for Taylor and I to be here to do this is a really awesome thing. We
Being nice to your fans again.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying?
Right.
Thank you guys, man. Thanks,
You guys are
Dave. Thanks,
naturals,
Taylor.
man.
There was a contest, but we won it because we're in our band and we sort of cheated. Told everyone. We
You
had
had your
here.
whole crew filling out forms all day and mailing them in.
One of the coolest things about being here, though, is being in that studio and seeing some of those old guitars, man. Because I recognize those guitars, and it's awesome when you see those old Explorer, those ESPs or whatever they are, with all the you could tell that you had a bullet belt on when you were wearing that thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, that was part of the uniform. at
That's
that
part of
time.
the. Okay, whose V is that? That white one.
The white one's mine.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I mean,
That's pre-Kill 'Em All right there. That was my second guitar ever.
that thing is
Yeah.
beat down.
Yeah.
Can't you fix
Imagine
that?
that for 1 second. Imagine that for 1 second. Pre-kill 'em all.
Wow. That's almost the 70s.
Yeah. Pre-kill 'em all.
Hey, hold on. Okay, let me get a little bit of history really quick. The Metal Massacre compilation.
Yeah.
Okay, now that was Mustaine. Was Dave on that one or
The
not?
very first version was not.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was that one or two. The Metal Massacre.
It was one.
It was
But
one.
there were two versions of one.
Okay.
It was me and James and a guy named Lloyd Grant.
Yeah,
And
Huh?
James, it was literally just
Where's
me and
Lloyd?
James, and Lloyd Grant played all the solos. Then, on the second version, when Brian Slagle, Brian Slagle, he got himself a distribution deal for the record, and then we got a chance to recut it because next to all the other bands on that record, it was a Fostex. It was like a 4-track Fostex. It sounded like nothing. So we got a chance to recut it. So we put the version of Hit the Lights with Mustaine on guitar and Ron McGovney on bass, and that was like the first sort of official Metallica
Yeah.
lineup. But
And
the
Metallica
That was
spelled
the first one I
correctly.
heard.
Metallica spelled correct, but the very first one.
How did they spell it the first time?
Two T.
M-E-T-T-T-T-T.
Yeah.
There's like too many T's.
There was a couple too many T's. So if you have the first version of that with the extra T's, it's just James and me and a guy named Lloyd Grant playing solos.
And if you have
Yeah,
it,
well,
you got
here's
it.
here's the very cool thing. Well, I did bass, guitar, and the singing. Lars did the drums. We got one more track. We stopped on the way to the studio and had some guy do the solos on it. Remember?
Yeah.
We stopped on the way. Hey, can you throw some solos on here? Okay. And then we brought it to Brian. Okay, here. It's ready. And we walked in with a cassette tape. And he's going, well, where's your, half-inch,
Master
real
deal.
professional
Master.
tape?
Yeah.
Well, this is it. That's why it
But
sounds
26 years from now, we'll have Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins and the Foo Fighters sitting talking about Death Magnetic in the studio in Northern California, surrounded by 100 people who feel nothing but love for us. So take that with you.
That's right. There you go. Yeah. Well, personally, I got to say that ever since when me and my good buddy Jimmy, rest in peace, when we got that Kill 'Em All cassette from some mail order catalog, I remember looking at the picture, and looking at you guys, and just by looking at you, we thought, oh my God, we can be in a band too.
We can get laid too.
It's like, wow.
There's hope.
Really?
There's hope for the rest of
We
us.
can do this. But
Ugly people form bands too.
you don't have to look like the guy from Def Leppard, whatever. But no, really, I mean, you guys really set an example for so many people, for musicians and kids who started playing in music and stuff, that your career has been, nobody told you guys what to do or how to do it, I'm sure. You guys have done it your own way this whole time, and there's a lot to be said for that, because, in this day and age, to find a band that is the biggest band in the world, that has more integrity than most bands that call themselves the punk rock bands with all the integrity. I think you guys are more badass. To me, it's like you and Motorhead.
Thanks.
And that's it.
Right on, Dave.
The
Thank
real
you.
rock
Thank
and roll
you, man.
bands that still
Thank
make
you,
great
bro.
records, man.
Thank
you.
It's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Well, that was kind of the motto back then. You can do this. We're just dudes that don't want to work. We want to play music, and you can do this too.
No one's stopping us.
Whatever happened to the first? You had a van, right? What happened to the van?
We had a Winnebago.
What? Really?
Yeah.
It died between L.A. and San Jose on the Raven tour, right? Remember on the about 2 hours out of San
really?
Yeah.
on the way out, about 2 hours out of San Jose, it just died. We left it on the freeway and thumbed it.
Wasn't it near Lancaster?
Lancaster. Actually,
Where we just did the last video.
Yeah, it was near Lancaster.
Hey, there's where the
California.
Winnebago broke down.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, I got. What's the deal with the artwork? Who did the artwork for the record? Death Magnetic.
David
Where's he at?
Turner, right there.
Yeah.
Raise your hand,
Oh, I think I met
hey.
you.
David Turner.
Did I meet you at the Wiltern?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I did. I was kind of drunk. I said, none of that Basquiat stuff, man. I want some airbrush. Give me something.
Yeah. So
We
what do
wanted-
you? Well, all right, Dave.
It was just.
What do you
dig
think?
it.
What
Well,
do you think of it?
I've only seen it a couple. I haven't had a chance to really take a good look at it. But I mean,
Give him one.
you got
Come on,
one?
bring one out.
Come
You
on,
have
come
3
on.
in your hand.
I mean,
Come on.
tell me, because that's a
Haley,
really
Go
interpretive
give
thing.
one to Dave. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Okay, lay down
So,
on
I
the
mean-
couch. Tell me, what do you see?
That's gonna look good on an iPod.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
It's all-
what?
all about-
How do you guys do? How do you do artwork? How does it work? Is it everybody? Is it you? Is it who? How does it go?
But seriously,
we all
Dad,
sit around a
it's-
table and throw around ideas and find out what sticks.
None more black. There's one.
None
okay.
more black. We already used that one.
It comes in
But-
various ways. I remember Master of Puppets. I had the vision in my head before we even started writing the songs.
For what the cover should be?
Yeah, even the font. I mean, it's like this is how it's going to be. And Lars and I were totally on the same page with it. Okay, this is great. This one was a little more, hey, let's take it to another level. How do we do that? And getting some people who really know visuals and impact and iconism and all that. So we did. We took it to the next level, and I think it's really, really
And
cool.
the title of the record, I mean, is that something that, because, we all watched
Death
the
Magnetic
movie
is
and we
a-
saw you
Death
guys
Magnetic is
figuring
a-
out the last one.
Death Magnetic's a lyric from the song we heard earlier at My Apocalypse, and Kirk Hammett, the one and only. We were sitting around talking about all the different album possibilities, and
AKA The Ripper.
Kirk suggested Death Magnetic, and
Shredder.
all the rest of us kind of looked at each other and went, "Huh? What are you talking about?"
Ah, secret weapon.
But
Totally,
and then actually
totally.
David came into the room, and there was 3 or 4 titles on the table, and David sat down and he looked at all of them and said, "I think we can do the best one with Death Magnetic." That's really how it happened, right here around the dinner table out in the kitchen there. Very organic.
For
very
anyone that
organic.
hasn't seen the album cover, it looks like there's a coffin. Well, I'm not going to really say what I think it looks like. I guess it's sort of like one of those Rorschach test deals, right?
Tell us what you
Let's
think.
just say that I could
Birth and death.
could maybe
okay?
use this later for some, but now
The drum off.
the magnetic thing, that's like one of those little toys where you put the mustache on the guy.
Exactly.
It's like that, right?
Yeah, totally.
Are you going to do like a limited deal where you can move the little magnetic stuff around the hole in the middle?
That's the limited edition.
Is that what it is?
Depending on your preference.
I'm
yes.
just saying.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was saying when you were shaving those guys' beards here at the studio? That you could do some custom Metallica merkins for anyone that doesn't know what that is.
Okay,
Chia pet.
everybody,
It's all right.
stop
Chia
having
pet.
fun.
It's a public wig.
It sure is. Ladies and gentlemen,
Public.
Taylor,
Don't let this
we got one more minute.
I think
man.
we're off
come
the
on.
air.
That's
Is
it.
there
We
gonna
just-
be a movie?
Huh?
Is there gonna be a movie?
the movie?
God, I hope not.
This is the movie.
There was a,
did
there
one.
was, you know what? We did the movie 4 years ago. It's all good. The part of what we talked about earlier about how we've all been getting along is because we've actually been left alone this time.
There you go.
There was no psychiatrist. There was no movie crew. No disrespect to any of them. There was no hands-on producer. No disrespect to Bob, but
No
the
colorful
four of us-
the because that's
No colorful.
Yeah.
But the
Bill
you know what?
Cosby sweaters.
But seriously, the four of us playing music together
I love the
in
pudding
that
and
room
I
in
love
there.
the pudding pops.
That's what brought the magic back. Was just the four of us being together and not having all these outside
Sorry, what'd you
entities
say?
to do our thing. So that's been part of the magic. So maybe next time
And
there'll be a movie.
It'd be a pretty boring movie too. Because
yeah.
everyone's
You know
getting
what?
along.
Yeah,
Who
everybody's
wants to
getting
see
along.
that?
I'm just going to say this before our time is up, which it's been up for a long time, but the year and a half in the life of Metallica, I watched those VHS things
VHS.
so many times that, like, if I came off the road and I wanted to feel like I was on tour again, well, I'd just pop in the Metallica movie and I'd watch that for a while, and I'd think, God, they seem like really nice guys. I want to tour with them. They seem really cool. Well, I hope everybody had a good time today. And that was fun.
Why don't we? Can I just throw something down? You just said let's tour together. Why don't we do some Metallica Foo Fighters shows together one day? Because I
'Cause you
think
know
that would
what?
blow
Good
everybody's
idea.
We don't want to get
That
our
would-
ass.
That would blow everybody's minds. Come
Yeah,
on.
we'd get our ass handed to us.
Yeah,
Stop.
you know, I think
Hey,
I
but
remember.
it's not
hey,
about that, right, guys?
Stop.
No, it's not a competition. I remember this year at the Reading, because you just played the Reading Festival in England.
Yes.
Last week, yeah.
Right?
Last week.
And
I thought it was reading.
the Reading Festival. Yeah. The Bookmobile. Did you guys? Never mind.
That's your kid's thing, bro.
Sorry.
But who played before you guys? Who went on right before you? Tenacious
Black.
D.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who went on after you? Nobody.
Exactly. I think that's the dream lineup right there. It's just Tenacious D and Metallica. That's all you really need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some fun.
kids
For
loved
one
it.
day.
And then a head
you know,
smash.
Come on. 3 drummers right here. Drummer circle.
I'm
Come
into it.
on.
The rhythmless section. Hey guys, thanks for having us. That was
awesome.
awesome.
You did a
Thank
great
you.
job, you guys.
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
record. That's so killer.
Thank you.
As a hardcore fan for 25 years,
Thank
it's
you.
an honor to be here, and thank you
Thank you.
so much.
And just props to the 2 guys who dared shave
Yes, thanks,
Yeah.
on
guys.
in front of 200 million gazillion people.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow, you guys really are funny looking.
Can you put it back on now? And thanks to all the listeners for putting up with all this, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I wonder if
5
there's
of you
still-
that are left.
Those left, yes.
Totally. I hope I didn't just unsell your record for you.
And now back to your regular scheduled programming.
Coldplay radio.
Right. We'll see you on the road.
You've been listening to Metallica, the world premiere of Death Magnetic. Special thanks to our hosts Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins. This program was produced by Michael Parrish for FMQB Productions. The executive producer is Fred Dean. The world premiere of Death Magnetic was engineered by Chuck Bullitt. Additional audio and narration provided by Rich Van Slyke. The world premiere of Death Magnetic would not have been possible without the help of Cliff Bernstein, Tom Beery, Warren Christensen, Ron Cerrito, John Silva, Gabby Skolnick, and Vicky Strait. Thanks to everyone at FMQB, including Mike Bacon, Joey O, and Mandy Feingold. For all the latest information regarding the release of Death Magnetic and tour updates, visit Metallica.com. This has been the Metallica Radio Network. Thanks for listening.